Welcome back once again to the You Should Get a License podcast, your number one source for information, education, inspiration on the most underrated career opportunity in business today. That is a career in financial services, in the insurance industry. And today we got a giant. We got a giant in the building, ladies and gentlemen. Look, this is someone who, many people can really model a whole career afterwards. He is an award-winning, certified financial fiduciary. We're going to get into what that means. A member of the $1 Million Roundtable. We're going to get into what that means. He is a multiple award-winning $1 million producer, agency owner, IMO co-agency owner, technology CEO, author, speaker, teacher, just an amazing individual, a true legend, in our industry, Mr. Douglas Eze. Douglas, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing great, man. How you doing? I'm
doing wonderful. Hey, look, when we were just kind of getting ready here, I was showing the book, Creating Generational Wealth, which is a must read for anybody in this industry, not just people in this industry, but just anybody, period, just to get your intellectual capital up, to get your mind right when it comes to, building that legacy of generational wealth. And I know that it's something that you're incredibly passionate about and speak a lot about on your platforms. Before we kind of dig in, I'm gonna take it back, because here at You Should Get a License, what we talk to is, we speak to people who are looking to maybe get into this industry or are new in the industry, and they're exploring, the different opportunities that may exist. So they may have had a conversation with someone, they may have not pulled the trigger, or maybe they're just getting started trying to figure out, where they want to go. So I'd like to just take a moment and turn it over to you, and you can just share, what your area of expertise is and what you are helping people and other agents with on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, definitely, man. Being in this industry, when I first started 25 years ago, one thing that we continue to see even till today is the fact that there's not enough training, in the industry. So when you get your license, you're like pretty much in a lot of situations, you're on your own. And so what we do with our company, with American Classic, which is a company that I'm a part owner of, also have Lago Financial Services. But what we do is we just basically believe in training agents, teaching them the ropes so they understand how to really sit in front of a customer and close deals, right? And do it the correct way and help the client be more productive and active in the fact of this wealth building scenario, because everyone wants to create wealth or build wealth for their family or protect it for some reason. But the problem we've seen is there's not enough money left after everything else because they're already stretched out. So we teach our agents how to be what we call 5-star agent. So they're able to cover everything when it comes to financial services, insurance, planning for the future, all that.
Absolutely. So really, your agency with Largo Financial Services, up in Maryland, and then, ACA, American Classic, it's really a focus on financial strategies that incorporate, life insurance and life insurance carrier products, those types of products, right? So in that space.
Exactly.
Okay. No, wonderful. And I want to ask you about this. This is something that I wanted to mention, actually, when we set the calendar. Nowadays on social media, right, you have, a high influx of, people speaking about, financial literacy, financial education, a lot of the information coming in like quick sound bites, right? So it's almost sounding like, oh, I can instantly do this. And all of a sudden I'm gonna be rich. I'm gonna have my own bank, just like this. Can you share some insight on what these processes look like in real life, not in the 1-minute clip on TikTok, or Instagram.
So, I mean, you know, everything is a process. Everything is time. You know, there's no secret sauce to just starting a business and all of a sudden, boom, you become wealthy. You know, you gotta pay the price. You gotta get into understand the business. You know, one thing I always hear people talk about, oh, you know, don't work hard, work smart. You know, oh, I do this. I'm able to streamline my business now. Let me teach you how to do the same thing so you could, you know, get a virtual assistant. All this stuff sounds good, but when you're not making any money, when you're broke, how are you going to afford to do that? Right? How can you afford to have all those things? It's so difficult to get into that world. You know, so one thing that we teach is making sure that people understand that, you know, it's not a matter of starting a business today. You got to pay the price. You got to do what it takes. So you understand what business that you're in. You know, I remember when I first got started, I was going from one station, metro, because I'm in the DC area, so we have a train station here. So I ride the train station from one end to the other, getting people to fill out surveys about college education planning. You know, stand in front of the metro and getting families as they come out and just talk to them about filling out a survey for their children's college. You know, doing those things. So you got to put in the hard work before then once you understand the hard work, then it's easier to keep it simple and break. But you got to go through the process or somebody's going to take advantage of you, right? Because if you don't know what it is that you're doing, there's always somebody that's going to take advantage of you, tell you that, oh yeah, just come in, buy this course real quick and you're going to become a millionaire. You know, they're becoming a millionaire on your back, you know, so be careful before you jump out there and all that stuff. You know, you got to, there's no shortcuts in this industry.
That's right.
You know, especially in the financials, we're a regulated industry, you know, so your licensing is very important. Unless you just want to lose your license, then go ahead and do the shady stuff out there. But if you want to stay in this business a long term, you know, become a student of the business.
Absolutely.
Become a student of the business.
Absolutely. Friend of mine, you know, we had a conversation a couple weeks ago. He said once you get your license, then you can start your education.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. It's true though, because everything we learn in the class when we're studying to get our license sounds good, but that doesn't teach you how to sell the product.
That's
how
right.
to understand the different product that different insurance companies have. So it's your job, your duty to understand it and know it. And know it because you know it, not because your manager said. A lot of agents they're getting, oh, whatever my manager says what's going to be. No, you need to learn the business. Not because of what your company is saying. If your company is pushing one product, you need to see that they're pushing the product because of the profit for them, right? So those are the things we talk about.
See, the gems have already started to be dropped. You know, don't just listen to your manager, your upline. You know, get it from the source. Be a student of the business. Be a student of the industry. It's already starting. See, I already knew this was going to be a good one. I already knew this was going to be going. So you're not only licensed. You have security. You have your securities licensing, and you're certified financial fiduciary. What does that mean, and what is the difference from that certification versus just being a licensed agent?
Yeah, so I actually let my securities license go years ago.
Okay.
Because with my securities license, I couldn't get on, you know, XM radio, TV, and speak. Why? Because, you know, it's regulated. They want to monitor you and manage what you do and how you do it. So I didn't want to be controlled anymore because, you know, I'm from West Africa, Nigeria. I'm an Igbo guy. You know, I didn't come to this country in a boat or nothing. I voluntarily came so nobody can hold me hostage. And I have to open up my mouth and talk, right? So I let my securities license go because I just didn't want that control. You know,
that's good to know. That's
good. Yeah. And so But I did get my certification as a fiduciary because that's different. You know, a lot of people think just because you have a securities license means you're a certified financial fiduciary. No, you're not. You just have a securities license. That's just a registration. So I actually studied and took a test, took an exam, and went through the compliance and got a certification that says I'm a certified financial fiduciary, because you got to get that. So, but I just did that because, you know, kind of set me apart from everybody else, you know, not just having the life insurance license, but also taking it a step further so that the clients and the people that I'm working with, if they want to work with a certified financial fiduciary, you know, I'll be that person that they could do it with.
Absolutely. And that kind of just creates a deeper level of trust too, because they know that, hey, you're someone who is going to be looking out, not specifically for your interest, but for their best interests.
Exactly.
In that certification. No, so I just wanted to, I said that, you know, in the introduction, but, you know, for the benefit of those who are listening, I just wanted to make sure that they understood, you know, what that designation, you know, really meant, you know. So look, you know, you got a lot of accolades, and, you know, when you walk into a room in this industry, people know who you are. If somebody checks out your social media, they know how you living, they know what's going on. I want to go way back. You talked about, you know, coming from Nigeria. I'm 39% Nigerian, by the way.
Awesome.
You know, yeah. So, but you talked about coming from Nigeria. Take me back. Not 9 years old, 10 years old. You know, Douglas, Izzy. What were you dreaming about being when you grew up?
Man, you know, growing up in Nigeria, you know, going to school and everything. But I've always wanted, you know, my dad was an entrepreneur. Actually, he was an entrepreneur on the, you know, some businesses, transportation business. And, you know, I wanted to be, I knew I wasn't going to go to college. I knew it wasn't just cut out for me. And not because I didn't want to go, I did want to go. But in Nigeria, going to college, you got to take this. This is an exam that you got to take, right? You know, final exam. That is like the killer. Because studying in Africa is different from studying here, right? You know, in Africa, they don't tell you what the test is going to come out from. You know, you have to study the whole book, memorize.
Wow.
People memorize.
Not like the practice exams, or
they don't know what's that.
Nice. Okay.
And you got to memorize everything. You got to memorize, bro. So it wasn't, you know, so it's a different ballgame. So I knew, I was like, man, and then after you do all that, then you go to college, then they go on strike. The professors go on strike because they ain't get paid yet. So I'm like, man, this is not for me, man. Yeah. So my whole dream and vision was to get to America, man. Just, you know, watching Soul Train and seeing all the brothers and sisters in there, getting it on, dancing, doing what they do. I'm like, man, I gotta come to America.
You trying to get in that Soul Train line.
Exactly. Right? Yes. So you know, that was the motivation for me to just leave. And, you know, just seeing people come back from abroad, and they, you know, I didn't care where they went, you know, Italy, wherever, just see that they just have a different feel, you know. But when the people that come from America come back, the skin is different. It's not like everybody else. You can come from Europe, you know, London, Belgium, whatever. But, you know, when an American come back, the skin, especially the skin is different. It looks different. It's like silk. It's nice.
It's all right. It's the well water.
Exactly. So yeah, man. But no, I mean, but there's opportunity here, man, that if you just take your time and forget all the noise that people are making out there, you know, and just focus, man, the sky is the beginning for you.
I like that. Sky's the beginning.
Yeah, man.
I like that. So for you, when you were young, you were like, hey, you know, your dad is already an entrepreneur. you knew you wanted to, get to America. You kind of saw, people, coming back, and, there was something that they had gained there. You weren't going to do the college thing, in Nigeria. What was it like? When did you come to the States? And, kind of what was your first experience kind of coming to this country?
Yeah, so I left Nigeria when I was 18 years old, just right after high school. So
Okay.
I left high school, I left, I went to Canada first, lived in Canada for a little bit, but I was like, man, I gotta get to the US. So I came across the border, man, just like everyone else illegally, just sneaked in and came in, found my way in. One way or the other, we're coming in.
Right.
I'm coming in, and I did. I mean, I got in. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm here now. So just, doing odd jobs, doing paper routes and different things, and then got a job waiting table at IHOP, and back then things were a little bit easier. It's not like today where it's a little bit tougher now, to actually get something going or getting a social security card. Back in the day, you could just go to to the social security office and say, hey, I want to open up a bank account. And they give you get a social security number to go open up an account. You can't do that today.
Just like that.
Yeah. So it's easier, but today is different because the idiots messed up with September 11. They messed up everything for So, but it's high security now, and makes it easier for you to, back then for me it was easier, but also it was still tough because you couldn't really do so much. But I started as a bus boy, at the back, washing dishes and stuff like that, and just doing what I needed to do. And then they told me, hey, you should wait table and get some tips and stuff. All right, cool. So I started doing that, and from there, somebody gave me their business card to get into the financial service industry, and that's how I got introduced to the insurance business. And today it's just been, was the best decision ever. Yeah. And from there, I just took it and wanted to be different. I didn't want to be like every financial advisor in the industry. I knew there was something different. There was something else that is out there. So I said, you know what? I'm going to think outside the box, and I'm going to study wealthy people and see how the wealthy operate. And I started studying wealthy families just to see what do they do different. How is it that somebody is 65, 70 years old is still driving a Lamborghini or a Cadillac? I'm like, what did they do differently from the guy that is working within a Walmart at age 65?
How old are you at this point? Now, how old are you at this point?
About 24, 25.
24. Okay. All right.
So that changed the game for me. That just helped a lot, just studying and researching, and you should start seeking information. The mentors start showing up. And the first mentor that I found was a gentleman that had a book that he wrote called he had a website called Tax Secrets of the Wealthy. And I tapped into his website and found a book that he wrote and I paid $4,000 for that book. I mean, the man called me at 10 o'clock at night one day. I asked him, why did you purchase the book? Because he was going to send me back my money. So he said, what made you buy the book? I said, well, you said Tax Secrets of the Wealthy. So I was interested. I need to know he said, but do you have money? I'm like, no, I don't have money. I don't have money like that. He said, because a lot of people that get this are ultra high net worth families, family offices. They get his stuff because he's an attorney. He's a licensed insurance agent. He's a real estate agent. I mean, the guy is well rounded. He just consult because he asked me how old I think he was. I say, you sound like you're in your 60s. He said, no, I'm 75 years old. So he's since passed. We became, friends as well as, I went ahead and worked with him on certain, brought some clients to him because he worked with very, very successful people. So I had a very successful client that I brought to him. And that was my first time, seeing how people on a high level operate, and I got to see everything from the start to the finish, working with ultra wealthy families. and what he did for them and all that stuff. And then, you know, it was a game changer. That was my first time making a huge amount of money in commission because we got to split the sale on the insurance side. And then, you know, because they did a lot of, they set up trust and a bunch of stuff, high level trust, not just a living trust. You know, that's the first person that taught me about there's a difference between an estate planning and wealth planning.